to the Under-9 Nationals taking place in Gurugram, India. On the left of your screen is Sattwik Swain. He is a talented young boy from Odisha, and on the right we have Divith Reddy Abdulla, a talented youngster from Telangana. Both of them are amazing youngsters. It's Sicilian on the board. At the recently concluded World Under-8 Championships in 2024 November in Italy, Divith had won the gold in Under-8 and Sattwik had won the silver. And now they are fighting at the Under-9 Nationals against each other. This is a huge encounter. One encounter that might very well determine the champion of the tournament. They both are top 2 seeds as well. Open Sicilian is on the board. Knight comes out to f6. And Sattwik brings his knight to c3. Keep an eye on the clock because these players play super quick. Pawn to a6. We have the Sicilian Najdorf on the board. And Rook g1 played. And look at Divith's expression. He's like, what? I never looked at that move against the Najdorf. But truth be told, it is a very interesting move. The idea is to prepare g4, g5. And Divith plays in classical style. He goes e5 in the center. And knight b3 by Sattwik brings his knight back. And both of them looking at each other in between. b5 played by Divith. His idea is to push the pawn to b4 and pick up the pawn on e4. But Sattwik is like, be my guest. I'm okay. If you play b4, then knight to d5. And if you pick up the pawn here, I have queen to f3. And by the way, Divith has played b4. But this is a very interesting trap because queen f3 and suddenly you can see there is pressure down here. So knight d5 played. And Sattwik, by the way, is out of his opening prep, it seems. Bishop e6. Divith does not fall for this. Plays his bishop to e6. Presses the clock. And you can see him adjusting the chessboard, the clock. They are enjoying themselves. Very interesting battle between youngsters. You know, it's not often that we get to see a complete game of two super talents. This is how it looks. Knight to c6 played. This is not a good move by Divith. The best move here was knight b d7, defending the knight on f6. But once you play knight c6, now bishop takes f6 is a good move. Bishop c4 also fantastic move by Sattwik. Putting his bishop on a good square, keeping the control of the d5 square. Bishop comes to e7. And now there could be ideas to take on d5 as the pin has been broken. So Sattwik takes on e7. Interesting move. Also possible is bishop f6 in such positions to just get rid of that knight controlling d5 square. He takes on e7 with the queen. And now if you take on e6, I believe black would take back with the pawn controlling the d5 square. So Sattwik makes this very interesting move. He plays his bishop to d5. But now after bishop d5, which is a good move, I don't know, like you can't take with the queen anymore because knight takes. So you have to take with the pawn or you have to take on f6. Let's see what Sattwik does here. And Divith has 1 hour 17 minutes while Sattwik has 29 minutes, while you know both players trying to imitate each other. It's a bit of fun, bit of seriousness, everything combined in this encounter. Both trying to imitate each other. After all, they are just 8-year-old kids. And someone comes in and knocks off the camera. Bishop takes f6 taken here. He takes back with the queen. The camera is back in position and now queen takes d5. Black's queen side does look a bit weak, but very quickly Divith brings his rook here, putting pressure on the c2 pawn. And what a move by Sattwik. He gives up the f2 pawn. He's like, I'm going to put pressure on d6 pawn now. Wow, fantastic. Let's see what Divith continues here with. He decides to castle. I like this move so much, because if you take on d6, then queen f2 is possible. But there's a beautiful move for Sattwik, which is rook d2. He goes queen d6. Well, maybe rook d2 and then fighting for the d6 pawn would have been much better. But takes, queen takes f2 taken here. And now we'll have to see whose position is better. But time-wise, Sattwik in big trouble. He has just 6 minutes on the clock. Divith has 1 hour 18 minutes. Queen comes back to d2, offering a queen trade. You could trade the queens, but you can also keep the queens on the board. Queen h4, the best move found by Divith. Brilliant. Brilliant chess. He wants to attack h2 and e4. And Sattwik plays his queen to e3. Now, taking on h2 is dangerous, but it's the best move according to Stockfish. And Divith is like, if Stockfish says it's the best move, I'm going to play it. I am super strong. Rook h1. That's not a great idea. I believe you had to play king b1 to avoid queen f4, trading the queens. And now the queen does come to f4, trading it here. Sattwik takes, but now this endgame is really, really bad, because you not only just pawn down, well, you have this isolated pawn as well. Rook h4 played, attacking the pawn on f4, and now g5. Why not? Look at Divith. I love how Divith is fearless, you know. He is not really afraid of snatching pawns, moving pawns in front of his king. f6, another very strong move. And now Black has consolidated with the pawn up, but Sattwik continues to hack into the position. He's attacking the pawn on h7. Rook f7 played, rook takes f7 taken, king takes f7. And now he chops off the pawn. Yes, White has recovered the pawn, but at what cost? Black's pawns are rushing down the board. The king is active. The knight is ready to jump in here. He goes back rook h1, but now g4. This is just very bad position for Sattwik. Rook e8 played by Divith. Divith not only better on the board attacking e4, he also has 1 hour 16 minutes more than his opponent. Rook e1 played, defending the pawn. And now g4 played here by the young boy, playing this beautifully, coming in with the king here. Until now, Divith's play has been high class. High class here. He brings his knight. Where does he want to bring his knight? Knight to c5, attacking the pawn on a6. Do you want to defend it? Maybe yes. Why not a5? But Divith, I think he just feels that his kingside pawns are much faster, and he doesn't even care about his a6 pawn. And Sattwik recognizes the danger of taking that pawn, comes back, stopping king h4 so that f4 would be hanging. And knight e5, another classy move. If you exchange the knights, well, this is just completely winning position for Black. So he takes on b4 now, attacking the a6 pawn as well. The best move now is f3. Finds it. Whew, what amazing chess by Divith. Maybe 100% accuracy, yeah? Now g3, g2, g1. Of course, opening wasn't the best with knight c6, but still great middle game and end game play. g3 played. And now the best idea is to go rook h8, rook h3. Finds it. Rook h8 on the board. Divith doing it in style. Sattwik down to 1 minute. In fact, down to 50 seconds. He takes the pawn on a6. And now, do we get in with our rook here? Rook to h3. Or he goes rook h2. I'm not so sure why he didn't go h3. Look at this idea. Rook h3. If rook g1, sack here. And f2, you can't stop the pawn from queening. So big opportunity there. He goes here. Knight c5. Now suddenly, white has his own trump card now running down the board. No longer easy for Divith. He's missed his chance. Knight c4, only move to keep the advantage. Otherwise, Sattwik is back. Divith blunders. Rook g2. Why is this a blunder? Now notice the expression of Sattwik. He's stunned. He looks at his opponent, plays a check, and look at Divith. He can't believe. Oh my goodness, what a big blunder this is. Because, and 1 minute 31 seconds for Sattwik, 1 hour 22 minutes for Divith. The problem here is wherever the king goes, it's trouble time. If you go to g6, knight f4, fork. If you go to the h file, I'm forcing you with a check. You can't come to the f file. Insane turnaround in this game. Divith was doing it in style there, but unfortunately, he missed one move and Sattwik has turned it around completely. He can't believe it. King h6 played. Rook h1 check. King g6. And now knight to f4 check played. Attacking the king and the rook. King g5. And it's a checkmate. Checkmate here. Divith blunders. He arranges the pieces. I would have loved for them to shake hands here. Well, the neighbor of Sattwik gives him a high five. For Sattwik, it's a big win. Of course, a very, very important clash between these two youngsters.